the importance of emotional intelligence in the workplace. In this case, it's the sports industry. Um, um, it's a sports industry. Now, in the sports industry, it's sort of like any other industry, business, economics. It's sort of the same. It's a lot of management. It's a lot of crowd management, such as like human resource. Emotional intelligence defined, according to psychologist Peter Sauvé, Jonathan D. Mayer. Leading researchers on topics, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and understand emotions in oneself and others. Turn this emotional understands help us make decisions, solve problems, and communicate with others. In this case, with sports, in order to solve problems, you got to understand what the scenario is. And what that scenario requires communication with others. And with those two words and actions that are in use in that industry, the right decision has to be made. Um, Psychologists use to view emotions and intelligence as being in opposition with another. In recent decades, however, researchers exploring emotion psychology have become increasingly interested in cognition and effect. Um, Emotional intelligence in this industry is a very valuable ability to have as a manager, as a sporting manager, CEO, director, because your your ideal um, value that you should bring in this industry as a leader is to provide for the people and provide for those that are in the industry, accompanying you in your philosophy in the industry to build that industry under your name, to help you build it. And with the emotional intelligence, it makes you strong and intelligent and make the right moves. So in an industry like this, it's definitely needed. For example, in government and politics and here in SAFA, the South African Football Association, if the right decisions were made, the industry would be way better in South Africa football wise. Why is EQ important for success? Emotion, psychology, and concept of emotional intelligence gained interest in 1995, published by Daniel Goleman's Emotional Intelligence. Why can it matter more than IQ? Goleman asks that emotional intelligence is a critical predictor of success in life. Emotional competencies, he argued, played a particular important role in the workplace. It does, because every decision you make is very calculated, and it's through, in my theory, through God, through spirit. And with spirit, um, your if you had to put it in the correct words, your cognition to spirit and a God, it's to listen to that spirit and God that guides you. And with that requires prayer. And with prayer, it gives you the ability to know what to do in different types of moments that are difficult. So with your emotional intelligence, you are capable of making the right decision, not through intellect, but through sometimes feeling when intellect is too blind. Why EQ matters in the workplace. Why is emotional intelligence such a valued workplace skill? In a survey, hiring managers, also 75% of respondents suggested that valued an employee's EQ more than their IQ. The EQ, with a manager that just works just by the book through theory, and with theory doesn't get you that far. Through my experience and through interviews, through my mentors that I've met and worked with, IQ is just theory. It's purely theory. You can work with theory, you can work with statistics, but with emotional intelligence is the rational decision that doesn't need intellect and just needs you to make the right decision, not through numbers, but through your character and your understanding in what is better, and that is your emotional intelligence. Here's a picture. To become more emotionally intelligent, although emotional skills come naturally to some people, anyone can improve their ability to understand the reason. This can be particularly helpful in the workplace where relationships, businesses, decisions often on interpersonal understanding, teamwork, and communication. Become more self-aware. One of the first steps towards using emotional intelligence is the workplace is practice recognizing your own emotions. Self-awareness involves being aware of the different aspects of your life, including your emotions and feelings. It is one of the most fundamental components of emotional intelligence. Pay attention to how you feel. How do you feel emotions influence? How do you respond? Do things you are feeling have impact on your decisions do you make? How do you interact with others? As reflect to those questions, you may find that become much more aware of your emotions and role that they play in your daily life. Take stock in emotional strengths and weaknesses. Before I read, you have to know your emotions and you have to understand yourself as a person. In this case, sometimes you have to be logical. You have to turn off your emotion. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. If you are strong in this case, but you're weak there, but if you allow your emotions to interfere with your weaknesses, per se, you strongly feel you can break that weakness, but there's a much more qualified person for your position or a much better player in the industry. But your decision is you choose and you make a decision through just pride and arrogance. I could say arrogance because it's ignorance. It's more lack of information. You already know. You're making a decision through your ego. Sometimes we have to understand how we can communicate with others. Do you find yourself experiencing impatience, anger, ignorance often? What are some ways you can deal with feeling effectively? Sometimes you just got to focus on the right thing. And the right thing is the right man for the right job. What is best for everyone, not just you, but what is best for everyone. And that requires zero arrogance, no ignorance, but purely just knowing what you're doing. Remember that emotions are fleeting. A coworker might irritate you, or your boss might give you a frustrating task to complete before you react. Remember that these things are temporary. For example, in football, if a coach may have a strategic plan to on how they can go forth on facing a team. With that requires certain tactics, and most players won't agree with what the coach has to say. Sometimes you feel you're the better player as a sportsman than I am, but the coach knows what to do, and he knows what he wants to do. He knows his approach, and knowing what's best for the team and removing your emotions is more emotional intelligence than anything, in my opinion. Practice self-regulation. It's a critical part of emotional intelligence. Being aware of your emotions is an important first step. But you'll also need to be able to manage your emotions and feelings. Thank you.